So, howdy folks, Maxwell McGee here, and today I'm checking out a little game called Endless Legend, and to help me do that, I'm joined by...
Romain. Hello.
Nice to meet you. Again, last time we met, I believe it was at GDC,
yeah.
earlier this year. But before we get to that, let's set up what is Endless Legend, what are we seeing right now?
Okay, so Endless Legends is a 4X fantasy strategy game. So it's set in the same universe as Endless Space, our previous game. You know, so it's you playing on a planet set in that fantasy science fiction universe.
Right, you guys have like a series of games that all have the prefix of endless, and they all sort of tie together in some way,
Yes.
but they're all very different games in their own right.
Yeah, the first one was science fiction. You know, you were like one empire, like conquering the galaxy. And this one, you know, you will be on one of these planets and one of the people of these planets trying to survive actually that very hostile planet somehow. And the other one, Dungeon of the Endless, is just a game that we just love, that we just created to connect these two universes, like to show the link between the two.
So I imagine in typical 4X strategy, what we're about to do here is start settling our first city, doing some research, maybe getting some military units on the field. Talk us through what we're
Exactly.
seeing.
So right now you're playing the Volters. It's a very classic civilization of our game. Most of them actually are pretty asymmetrical. Some of them don't need food, some of them don't need science, you know. But here, you know, we play a classic civilization linked to all the universes. Actually, they are kind of spacefaring guys, like lost on that planet. They just want to escape that planet. Here, what you see is we are like creating a city. So. The world, you know, the terrain of that world is it's hexagonal and with the heights, different heights. So depending on where you place the city, you can have a very good vantage point, very good defensive position. You can actually, if you go higher up, you're most likely to find terrains which are good for production, down by the sea. You know, probably better for food or around the rivers. Actually, here, like we found pretty nice place where we can have actually a good mixture of food, science, industry, dust. Should be pretty good city to start the game.
Okay.
So now we're going to attack some little guys around us. So that world is filled with like smaller, what we call minor factions that you can that will attack you if you don't do anything.
Okay.
But if you manage to either negotiate with them or kill them or subdue them, they will join your empire. So sometimes willingly, sometimes not. By doing that, it's when they do join your empire, they will give your empire one new trait that will change the way your civilization interact with the world. You know. Science bonus. They will give you, you know, better movements on your troops. Some of them can actually, at some point of the game, can be extremely interesting, and they also will allow their troops to fight for you. You can recruit them.
So it looks like when we engaged in battle with these creatures, the map sort of changed a little bit, but I don't think the actual layout of the map has changed at all, right?
No, it's exactly the same layout. We just simplified it so it's easier to read.
Okay.
But actually, we can just fight this battle, but at the same time, we could go back on our city and manage it, or we could have another fight besides, we can have two fights going on. It's one place, one time. We didn't want to have battles that would be in another map that was loaded.
That take place on some other screen.
Yeah, and then you lose
else.
time, and then I think it takes you away from the immersion, because it's somewhere else. So that sense of continuity for us was very important, and also we put a lot of effort in trying to have the terrain at the center of the strategy.
Right, you were talking about the importance of elevation earlier when we were settling our first city.
And it's even more true, obviously, for battles. So you want to always have the high ground. You want to, especially for your archers, or to use the choke points to your advantage. And depending on from where you attack, that village,
right.
It will totally change, the layout of the battle. But the good thing is you can always plan ahead. Okay, so now we are going to attack. So we are on the hill. As you can see, before we attack, we have all over cliffs, and there's only one point of passage. I have a lot of troops I can attack from distance, actually. So I will be actually on top of that hill, trying to completely crush.
We definitely have the high ground in this scenario.
Exactly. So that's why it's always good to plan ahead.
Okay.
So they have a lot of cavalry, especially not a lot of distance, so they're going to be good for me. So that should be good. Yeah, ready to fight. So we set like offensive position.
So what sort of determines where the units fan out to when the battle starts?
Okay, so what happens is where we meet is the center of the battle. That's the only two hexagons that touch each other's
Okay.
at the beginning. Or, well, not really, only you have three touching, but that's the middle one.
Right.
And from there, you know that troops will deploy behind me when I attack with my
Okay.
troops, and behind the others.
Okay.
Now, the only thing, they need to have a path that goes from their original point to the rest of the map. If there's no path, they can't deploy to that areas. Because sometimes you can even like
Because you don't want to have like
somewhere.
a guy isolated on some other part
Exactly,
outside of
and
that.
else it wouldn't make sense. You know, you would wonder why he would appear
Yeah.
there if you couldn't go there. Sometimes what you try to do is to corner some people in some situation where they can't deploy the whole army. So right now, what we deployed our troops. We chose, you know, a good position. All the white dots that you see is the morale of each one of the troops.
Okay.
The morale is influenced by the number of units that they have around them. So the more they're surrounded, the better, the stronger they will be, and the more powerful they will be. The idea of that is to try to put your troops together as a group, and to try to hold the best altitude, the best positions with your troops together. So it's pretty interesting because it gives you a sense of having like kind of military lines, military strategies. Now, like what we just did, we just cast a spell, which is what we can do as you know, the Ardent Mages. Ardent Mages, they are kind of the only real mages of that world, and they are more or less the only ones who can't cast spells in battle, or actually also on the adventure map, where they can also, you know, cast economical spells.
So if we're playing as the blue Ardent Mages, who are we fighting against in this scenario?
So that's the Roving Clans. That's another one of the factions that have been introduced with the beta lately. The guys, the Roving Clans, cannot declare war to anyone. Even if they wanted to do it, they can't do it. They can only provoke you to do so, and if you decide to.
They just harass you enough until you can't take it
and
anymore.
they are really good at harassing you. So that's why, I mean, they're extremely annoying as neighbors. So the good thing is they're extremely good with commerce. You need to be friends with them to exchange anything. So if you want to buy or sell anything on the marketplace, you need to be in good terms with them. Everything you're going to sell there, they're going to take a cut on it. So they want you guys to
Of course,
exchange.
yeah.
So they
If you're getting paid, they're getting paid.
and if they're unhappy with you, they just expel you from the marketplace. And that's good. It can be problematic. You need resources to build your armies, and sometimes one of the best way to get these resources is through the marketplace. So yeah, that leads pretty cool tricks. What they can do also, it's one of the new things we also added with the beta. That's what we call the privateers.
Okay.
The privateers are when you have armies composed only of mercenaries. As you can see, we totally crushed. the
You did.
guys
I was
from
watching.
the-
You guys
from the-
just
from the
wiped the
Highhold.
floor.
So and a pretty good units. So pretty happy with that. So anyway, the mercenaries. If you make armies only of some mercenaries, you can tell them to become privateers. And privateers, nobody know who is the owner of these privateers. They are just like kind of. They look like random units coming from the computer, from, you know, these minor factions, but actually they are being
But they're being
controlled by
controlled
you
behind the scenes.
or by someone else.
You could do like some proxy warfare kind of
Exactly,
business.
and or like guerrilla,
Okay,
and
okay.
sometimes, you know, what we do is, especially in multiplayer, is like, you know, this one guy who sends like his privateers between two other guys. So it looks like it's coming from one of the two. So, so the guys know what to fight
That's
together.
good.
So you have some pretty cool psychological stuff you can do, and sometimes you even see situations where people attack their allies with that.
Yeah.
So depending on they're the best friends, you know, I want to be in good terms with you, and you know, you do all these tricky things. So it's pretty cool addition to the game that we added.
Yeah, so I know you guys have just moved from sort of the alpha phase into the beta phase. In
Yes.
addition to privateers, like what else has changed?
So basically, by reaching the beta, the game is mostly complete. We have a few other things that we still wanted to add, but the whole gameplay loop is there. There's only so basically what we added is like the roads, as you can see.
Okay.
The road system and the whole commerce system, which is linked to the roads. We didn't want to go through micromanagement of building roads, so what you do when you create a city, you can create a building which is roads on that city, and it will connect your city to the closest city, at least in your region, and by taking the fastest path. So if normally you would have built yourself by hand that road, it would have taken that same path, because that's what makes more sense. And later, your caravans will use these roads to do the commerce, and through the road networks that will be created by all the players, you know, you can slowly reach further and further places. So to have like, you know, better caravans, but someone can try to cut, you know, your caravan's routes and to try by taking land.
They start laying into your profits a little bit.
Then you want to attack them because you want to go back to your profits. So that's the same. That's the same on sea. You know, we have seaports, and the seaports will try to connect to other ports in the world, looking at distance. Again, you will want to control the kind of things. So also we added seaports. We added the ships. Right now you can, you know, embark anywhere in the world.
Okay.
The marketplace was already there before, but you know, we have a lot of things that, you know, we can do, especially with roving clans. Roving clans. So we're not playing at the roving clans, but if you were playing as roving clans here, you would see all the exchanges from all the others. So you know, you're the only one who know who bought what and who sold what. So you know what they need, what they're craving for, and you know what you need maybe to stock up to sell to them.
And then you can adjust the market based on those needs.
Make sure, you know, you're the one to profit from that. So it's pretty good information. It's also information you can sell. What we added with the diplomacy. Diplomacy was there in very basic form. You were more or less always at war. As you see, there's this little like purple star. We call that influence, and everything has influence cost in the diplomacy. And the more you get along with someone, the more like negative actions are expensive in terms of influence. And therefore, you know, if you want to declare war to someone, if you don't want to pay a fortune in terms of influence, and influence is used for diplomacy, but it's also used for any kind of political actions in your empire. You can invest that, for example, to what we call empire plans, which gives you a big bonus for the next 20 turns.
So instead of just like flat out declaring war on them, you want to like wear them down a little bit with like some insults and
and therefore, you know that someone is coming for you. You know, it's not like
that way. It's not like a huge surprise.
Yeah, like what? You know, that's not how you do it. So it gives also that sense of very logical.
There's a progression there.
It contributes to make it believable, basically, and everything that we do in building that game is to make sure there's nothing that, you know, takes you out of that belief. You know, you want to make sure that, you know, you're there, and that diplomacy, by understanding what the others want and how they get there, helps you to contribute to that.
So, have you guys talked about release window, or release timing?
So we announced that. So we told actually last week our community that we are coming out. We hope to come out. You know, so
everything goes according to plan.
Yeah, according to plan by the end of the summer.
Okay.
Which is also the good thing about being independent. You know, you aim at a window, you know, if you're happy with the game, you know, you do it. If you're not happy, you know, you delay. You know, it's you don't have any pressure, you know, others than that. So, but yeah, we definitely hope to reach the end of summer. The thing is also for us, we definitely are looking forward to have the game being out, because, you know, it's another phase of the life of the game that starts. You know, where we can start, you know, adding new content again. We can, you know, on Endless Space we did like 6 free DLCs plus, you know, an expansion pack.
Sure.
And this kind of stuff that, you know, we want to go on, you know, with the life of the game. And also by going live, you know, we have quite a lot of players already in early access, but we'll have a lot more players also with that. And it's also new feedback coming in, new strategies coming in, you know, so.
That's all just good data.
Yeah, good data, exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with us.
Thank you.